June, we started videos, digital videos, short digital videos for YouTube and for Facebook and also for Instagram. Now, that is what propelled us to where we are now. The videos were the best decision we made at Columbus. Yeah, but people know us for the website.
Okay, what inspired Kulan Post, or what inspired you to write about what you write about? And there must be something that has, driven you to come up with Kulan Post, you and your team. What was that moment that you said, you know what, let me go into Kulan Post? And because you disseminate information, and I know we have a lot of things to talk about, but I just want to know that what inspired Kulan Post?
Obviously, the void in the industry, particularly when it comes to telling the stories of the Somalis and also the Muslim community in Kenya. Look, Muslim community in Kenya roughly make up 30%, and Northeastern makes up the biggest. I mean, like 90% of Northern Kenyans, Northeastern people are Muslims.
And the coast?
And the coast also, but I'm talking about Northeastern right now. People were telling our stories. We were not telling our stories.
Okay, basically you wanted to tell our stories.
Yes.
Okay, Riak, if I just welcome to the show once again.
Thank you.
It's very rare to see, a young, beautiful girl like you to be reporting about the region, where you report about Muslim affairs and all these things. Of course, I know you also work with Kulan Post, but when did you come into the board? When did you join it? And what really inspired you to come to Kulan Post and tell the stories? And do you particularly tell specific stories more so on women issues?
Well, I joined Kulan Post last year, that is mid last year, which is May. And from there, we've been doing stories. I personally studied journalism, and it has always been my passion to help people who are in need. And basically, I look at the people who need assistance. And so I talk to my team, and we make a plan, and we talk about that story, and we see how we can help. Basically, if it's women in northern region or the regions that people are having problems, and I really enjoy that.
Thank you. Okay, now, and especially, we know that the mainstream media hardly covers some regions in this country.
Yeah.
The coast, if you may say, the only time you hear about stories of maybe the coast and northern Kenya is when there is a breakup of a disease or a terror attack or explosion.
Yeah.
You hardly see the good side of story, the positive story.
Yeah.
Do you try your best to cover issues, the positive stories more so? Is there specific stories that inspires you that you should do?
Yes, specific feature stories.
Yes.
Both physically on children, on women. Yeah, actually the mainstream, as you say, they don't cover exactly everything. So what inspired me is that being the world now, we're going to digital, and it's a very advantage to me because as you say, people cover only latest news or when there's explosion or when there's disease outbreak. But as for us, we take advantage of that because most people are on social media nowadays. They don't focus on TV, they focus on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. So as for us, it's a very advantage because every time we get news, we just publish, and that's how we get.
So far?
It's been very good.
How long are you in the digital media in the world?
Quite a while now.
Yes.
Yeah, and as from the way and my experience and the way I know, a lot of people focus on social media, and that's what really inspired me. Personally, I was at KBC, I was attached at KBC, but I was happy to join Kulan Post because as I see the world is revolving and digital media is where we get a lot of audience and where we get to cover people's stories and people's weakness where we think we can help them.
Great. Now, how was it, what challenges do you go as a woman, as a lady, as a young lady, in going about your work and covering these issues?
Okay, personally, I have problems with politicians. Other people, mostly I do feature stories. I don't focus on news most of the time, and I don't find it hard. But when it comes to interviewing a politician, it becomes very hard because from nowhere they get your contact and they just get your social media and then they start harassing you, or you find that you've written a story about them, they just react. Yeah. Okay.
Now talking of stories and people reacting to it, when you know our especially the regions you write about, the Muslim regions and specifically northern Kenya, there's also this tendency of and I know this is a global issue or a nationwide issue, but this element of you write about something, some people feel offended because it's their clan or sub-clan or something like that, Or basically, how do you handle those things? I know
Yes.
you know what I'm talking about.
I definitely.
Yes.
Look, first of all, the job we do is not to appease people.
Yes.
We tell the story as it is. It is for you. It's upon you to take an offense in it or not. So mostly, as Riak just told you, sometimes you do something, and then the whole thing takes a clan dynamic. You are told, just you wrote that you are writing that story because you come from that clan. So we think and you're driving an agenda. But it is for us to overstep that and say that's none of our business. You can say what you want, but we'll tell the truth. Yeah.
You see, and many people will agree with me. Kulan Post has some, integrity is taken serious.
Yes.
I personally take it serious.
Thank you.
Yes, I have seen you interview, personalities, serious personalities. When I say you, I don't mean you, I mean Quran Post.
Yes.
Yeah, the post itself. And how has been the growth over the years, and what do you foresee in the future, in the next 1 or 2, 3 years?
First of all, this path was an uncharted one. No one walked on this path before. Digital media is a new thing in Kenya. And we are trying daily to prove to people that, well, this is a serious thing.
Yes.
And you have to start believing it.
Yes.
When you see leaders or people of influence talking to Column Post yesterday and after the court, at the Supreme Court,
Yes.
James Orengo addressed us
Yes.
in particular because
Yes.
he knew
Yes.
we knew that we will speak to the people he was representing.
Yes.
So that tells you, and as much as digital media is gaining traction in Kenya, we want to be identified as a serious digital media where online journalism is expressed, is practiced, and we also want people to believe that there's difference between social media and digital media.
Yes.
Social media is your space.
Yes.
You don't have,
And of course,
don't have training.
people also, we have been trying to explain this, that even blogging
Yeah.
is not the same as Facebooking.
Of course, yes.
Or just tweeting.
Yeah.
Blogging is a serious stuff.
Yes.
It takes you time, it takes your reasoning time. It's like writing, in a book or an article or something
Yes.
like that. And now, having said that, the issue of you report about a particular region.
Yes.
And I want to take this question before I come to you,
of course.
to Riak. There are a lot of issues, especially women issues, girls, and governance issues, youth issues. How do you deal with, if I ask this, especially women issues? Do you bring out, we have a lot of women issues, especially when it comes to governance. They seem to be sidelined. How do you report about that? And how do the women react, and even the men themselves, the patriarchal society we come from?
Okay, well, women problems, I interact with them and I get to see deep down the story, what the storyline is all about, and then I figure out how I can help them, not publicizing it, but first of all, I get to talk to them and get a solution, and then I discuss with my team, and then I get to see if we can get a solution before we publicize it, because women issues are very sensitive. You can't just take it public.
But you see, as much as they're sensitive, there are stories that need to be heard and seen out there.
Yeah.
And if you remember, there are many stories coming out, especially young girls rape. Do you guys cover those stories? Do you bring them to the public limelight, more so from an angle of a woman issue?
Yeah, sometimes if we have accidents or rape, we do bring out the issue, but we don't expose the person. Yeah, we kind of hide the person, and we hide the identity. We hide the identity, and we just hide the person too, but we bring the story out so that the people can help, so that justice can be taken to that family. And how was
your story, especially the women-related and girls-related story, how has it been received by the society?
It has been received very positively.
Yes, we have avoided particularly sexual violence.
You avoid?
Yeah, sometimes, most of the time.
Why do you avoid? And it's something sensitive?
It is sensitive, well, but look, when it comes to rape, particularly, it's a form of sexual violence. It is the most extreme form of sexual violence. And right now, Habaswin in Wajir South, there's a lot of story coming out there. And mostly we avoid because there's a lot of half-truth there. It is better you avoid than falling into trap where someone is getting fixed.
Now, if you avoid that story,
yes,
Are you not killing? Are you not making a voice go silent?
No.
Are you not making a story die just like that?
First of all,
you can go on interview and take both sides.
We serve a community.
Yes.
And have you ever asked yourself why even the elected leaders avoid and talking about discussing rape in public?
You see, elected leaders may have political agenda.
Yes.
But when you are a journalist and you're also a citizen journalist,
yes.
Involved in citizen journalism.
Yes.
You have, the moral authority to tell the world what is supposed to be heard, and that may not necessarily be heard and seen by the world out there. So I think on that aspect, you don't need to
look
to put the story under the bus.
We have a problem there. When a problem comes up, particularly rape, they solve it through maslaha system. Now, when you report, and then you bring out the alleged rapist, his name, and then they go back to the maslaha system, then you realize that that person was actually not a rapist. This was a cover.
Okay, I'm just saying, basically, the issue, we are not particularly talking about a particular case, but we are just talking about issues that matters, stories that matters, stories that need to be heard, stories that need to be seen out there.
Yeah.
And I just took, rape as an example, because it has become nowadays common thing that comes out from places that are not mainly covered by the mainstream media. I'm told we have some few minutes before we go for a break, but before that, Kulan Post, what particular, for instance, and what challenges do you go through in not writing some stories, or which stories to write? How do you decide that? Especially the stories of, I'm asking women issues because I believe you have a soft spot for them, being one of them, and those kind of things.
Yeah.
What challenges do you go through by bringing women's stories from the region that you cover?
Okay, basically we deal with northern religions, northeastern, because most of our audience come from there. And so mostly we deal with stories from northern parts of northeastern, and I kind of not find it very difficult because they see me as one of them, as a Muslim, so they're always open with me, and I don't find it very challenging to cover such stories. Yeah.
Okay, we are with the studio, Kulan Post team. But before we go for a break, I would like to remind our viewers we are live on our social media platform. That's Horizontv Kenya. At Horizontv on Twitter, myself at Ahmed Qadar 1. What's your Twitter handle?
At Abdikadir Okash.
At Abdikadir Okash.
At Riyaq Ahmed.
And at Riyaq Ahmed. Keep it there. You're going for chat break, but we'll be back.
Horizon TV, kurunzi ya taifa.
Qur'ani kitabu changu, Qur'ani mwongozo wangu, Qur'ani mwombezi wangu, Qur'ani pumbao langu, Qur'ani kitabu changu, Qur'ani mwongozo wangu, Qur'ani mwombezi wangu.
You're watching Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Welcome back to the show, The Weekly Matters, and today we're discussing citizen journalism, why it matters, and more so to the regions that are not covered mostly by mainstream media. And with me in the studio is Abdikadir Okash, the founder of Kulan Post, and Riyaq Ahmed, who is also a reporter for Kulan Post. Once again, welcome to the show. We're starting the second segment of our show today. And before we went for break, we were discussing about why citizen journalism matters, what you have been covering, and all that. Yeah. Now, coming back to the second segment, I know for a fact that most of your clients, for lack of a better word, the people who consume your news and information are young people.
Yes.
And how do you try to get them to your stories, and what particular angle do you take from when you are writing their stories?
First of all, if you have realized,
Yes.
if you look at how we've been bringing things up, we decide stories that are too controversial.
Yes.
Particularly the one you've just talked about.
You're going to come to that?
Yeah.
Yes.
And why do we do that? Because we are competing with the traditional media, TVs, radios, and newspapers.
Yes.
So the only way we can stand out is to tell their stories. There are things people want to talk about. So we excite that conversation. That's how we get shares. What matters to us mostly in the digital media is sharing.
Yes.
After every story we decide, is this story shareable?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's how we grow.
Yes.
And also the youth. When you look at the young people who are on social media, they want to talk about things, and then they cannot get space in the mainstream media. So where do they come? We have comment section there.
Yes.
We excite a conversation.
Yes.
They comment. That's how conversation starts.
Yes.
So that's why we are gaining more and more followers within the young people, 18 to 42 years. Those are that's our niche
target
now.
group.
Yes.
Now, Riak, you wrote a story. Quran Post wrote a story. I think within this week that went so viral on social media. It was a Muslim lady marrying a non-Muslim man. First of all, what is it, you guys, you have literally taken over the net the last 2 to 3 days because of that particular story. What informed, because if it didn't, I want to believe that if that story didn't come from you, it won't have seen the light of the day. Because it was the first time I saw the conversation was started by Quran Post. How do you react to such kind of story, personally, first of all, as a Muslim lady? And what was the reaction so far? And how was it taken by the people that you report to?
It was actually surprising because it's supposed to be a Muslim man can marry a non-Muslim lady.
Yes.
But for this time it was the vice versa.
Yes.
Which made it very interesting and very shocking to people.
Yes.
Yeah, and we thought that was a good story, and that's why we wrote about it.
Yes.
As for me, I found it, but the world is full of wonders.
Yes.
Yeah, you should expect everything, anything.
Okay, here is the editor. I want to hear his take on that.
Look, a lot of people expect just because Quran Post is seen as an outlet run by people who are Muslims.
Yes.
But although we are not all Muslims,
Yes.
we have a non-Muslim too.
Yeah, contributors.
No, he's one of us.
Yes.
He's part of the team.
Yes.
But that story had to be told,
Yes.
really,
Yes.
because it will serve we cannot preach. You see, we cannot preach because we don't have that platform. But we can tell the parents and the community, this is happening. So next time you need to be very careful.
But there are those who say, why are we publicizing this story? What are you telling them?
We are not publicizing.
Yes.
That's the problem.
Yes.
We are not publicizing.
No, of course, by writing about it, there are those who say,
No,
I agree with you 100% that
Yes.
story had to be told.
It had to be told.
So that, we understand where we cannot. There are people, who like such stories to die.
Yes.
Because they see it as not good, sort
Yes,
of.
yes.
But it has happened. And for it to be discussed, for it, something to be done about it, whatever
Yes,
it is,
yes.
the story has to be told.
Yes.
Now that you have told the story, was there any reaction to the story apart from social media?
Yes.
As in, was there any direct reaction to Quran Post?
Well, we get
Calls, whatever.
a lot of messages.
Yes.
The only way the people can
Yeah.
contact us
Yeah,
through
it's-
our Facebook
yes.
and Twitter.
Yes.
They connect us.
Yes.
And a lot of people are saying, why are we even talking about this?
Yes.
We are talking about this because it matters.
Now, talking
Our
of-
tagline
yes.
is Quran Post, telling the stories that matter.
Yes.
When we talk about cross what do you call it?
Cross marriages.
cross
Intermarriages,
religious and cross racial, not racial.
Not racial. This is just
tribal, cross tribal,
yes.
yes, cross tribal and
Marriages.
If we're talking about a man marrying a Muslim woman, I mean a non-Muslim woman, the religion has said something about it, and it's to some extent it's allowed. But a Muslim woman, in her right sense, cannot marry a non-Muslim man. There's nothing there.
Now, talking of that,
Yes.
Nowadays there are many more Muslim students at the universities,
Yes.
in colleges, unlike before.
Yeah.
And we interact.
Yes.
We interact with the non-Muslims
Yes.
who are fellow citizens.
Of course.
And we work with them. We study with them. And the number of Muslim young people going to universities and colleges has increased over the years. What needs to be done to avoid such kind of, especially from the girls' perspective?
Okay, as ladies, well, you know, people are really influenced by the digital media.
Yes.
So, and as I say, seriously, there's something that has to be done about it.
Yes.
But you know, nowadays people are very modern and they choose to do whatever they do and they choose to not listen to their parents.
Yes.
So the only thing that we can give them is advice.
Yes.
Yeah, because you can't force someone and tell him, hey, you're not supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that. Yeah, so if a Muslim lady is fully in love with a non-Muslim man, what she can do is just to, if she's really faithful to her religion, what she can do is try and convert this guy into a Muslim, to being a Muslim, to join the religion.
Okay, you have talked
between religion and relationship.
Yes.
Which come first?
Religion.
Religion is more important.
Yes. Before we go to religion.
And to me, at a personal level, I think
Yes.
there's a well laid out plan.
Yes.
To make sure someone insults the name of Islam.
Okay.
Because when we have a lady who has a Muslim name on a TV hosting a show that is entertainment,
Yes.
and then she is not covered, and she's saying my name is somebody,
Yes.
it sounds Muslim,
Yes.
and we all know she's a Muslim.
Yes.
And then we have this story,
Yes.
and a prominent person
Yes.
on TV
Yes.
marrying a Muslim lady,
Girl, yes.
and then he comes out publicly telling everyone that, and I'm happy with it, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yes.
That's a plan. There is a plan. I'm not sure about it,
Yes.
but there's a plan to insult the identity of Muslim women.
Okay, and you know, as you said, we are in the 21st century.
Yes.
We need to mind about how we report some stuff.
Yes.
And why we need to tell some stories. Now, going out of that.
But that was my personal opinion.
Yes. Of course, it's a personal opinion, and I think it's a good one.
Yes.
Now, talking of stories that matters, that Quran post right about, you have been accused, when
Yes.
I use that for lack of a better word, for not reporting story that really matters.
Yeah.
We're talking about governance.
Yes.
What do you do about governance? Do you report about misuse of CDF? Do you come out openly and talk about governance at the county level? For instance, right now, you know that one of the counties in the region is in sort of mess.
Yes.
Either at the courts or the other day the governor's house was raided.
Yes.
How do you handle governance issues? Do you tell stories that matter as far as governance is concerned?
Well, let me be more specific. The county you're talking about is Wajir. And
I'm not talking about Wajir, I'm talking about generally about the region.
no, particularly on
And generally about devolution.
Yes.
But you can name names if you want.
I will.
Yes, yes.
Names have to be said.
Yes.
In Wajir, particularly right now, the most unsettled politically county in northern Kenya is Wajir County. And but the gubernatorial losers are in the courts.
Yes.
And the governor is not having sound sleep at night.
Yes.
And there's a lot of problem. So when we report the problem
Yes.
in Wajir County,
Yes.
it takes a clan dimension.
Yes.
Yesterday night, I was accused on Facebook.
Yes.
I was told, Okash, you as the editor of Column Post, you've been reporting about what's happening in the court because we were broadcasting it live on Facebook. And after the court, we summarized it in an article. So the press director and the press community, they accused me on Facebook, and some of them even texted me, telling me, just because your clan is one of your clan member is in court, that's why you are siding with them. I was not siding with them. If I broadcast what the lawyers are saying
And what the judges are saying.
and what the judges are saying,
Yes. And you're just.
and if I report what happened
Yes.
chronologically,
Yes.
it doesn't mean I've expressed my opinion. It
Okay,
is
so
what happened.
Now that is, anyone will be accused of that.
Yes.
Not only you, but when people have interest, they'll always accuse the other
Yes.
of what they think. Now, Ria, what do you think we can overcome such petty accusations? Whereby you write a story, and just because someone think you come from somewhere, or because you look like someone, they think you are reporting because someone is influencing you. When sometimes it's not the case. How do you overcome that kind of thing as far as reporting is concerned?
Well, we can't remove that mind of tribalism in
Yes.
people's mind. yeah, as Abdul said, someone accused him of saying you're favoring this person because he's your tribe.
Yes.
That is something we can't remove from someone's mind. But as journalists, what we do is we deliver the story. So it's either you take it or leave it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's the only way you can stop those hate accusations is first to hire people who know their job. People, look, 3 months ago, and the press department in Wajir County, they started their own website. It's called kulan-post.com. Later on, we came to understand that one of the press public relations, was it press or communication
team
department?
One
of them, it's called, I'm talking about Wajir County.
Yes. Why would someone go and plagiarize your
because they wanted to twist the stories that we're telling.
Okay.
They want to give credence to what they are doing.
Yes.
Because they call us to report about what they're doing. But at Kulan Post, we have a policy. If you call us for a function, we don't cover functions where people or where leaders are talking about future that we're going to do ABCD. We cover events where we have tangible things.
Yes.
Yeah. If you are launching something, we will cover. If you're opening a hospital, we will cover. But if you're talking of opening a hospital in the next 2 months,
yes.
Well, let's meet after 2 months.
Or when you're opening the story.
Yes. We don't do free PR.
Yes.
They started their own kulan-post.com.
Yes.
We went to the CID. We went to the CID. We came to know who started, his name, his phone number, who paid, where he paid. But later on it was shut down because we have to fight. Sometimes
you have to fight for your name.
Yes.
Okay, we are discussing the issue of citizen journalism, why it matters, and how important it is, especially to regions that are not covered by the mainstream media. And as we said, you know, the development of information technology, especially the internet, has led to the emergence of citizen journalism, which matters today more than anything else, and it gives people a voice they never had, and more so in areas, as we said, where there is no coverage, more so in the pastoralist communities, in the far coast side, you know, the Lamus of this world. We're going for a short break, but before we go for a break, I would like to remind our viewers we're also live on our social media platform, that is Horizon TV, and also please like our page, that's Horizontv Kenya. Also follow Twitter at Horizon TV, and myself at Ahmed Qadar 1. Keep it there, we'll be back.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation. Horizon TV, kurunzi ya taifa.
Welcome back to the show. That's Weekly Matters, and I'm your host, Ahmed Qadar. Before we went for break, we were discussing about stories that matters and all these things. But Riyaq, there are people who sometimes misuse social media to spread fake news. And sometimes you hear about a certain politician saying something or a certain leader saying something, and then many people misinterpret, sometimes edit videos, and just to manipulate facts. How do you think that can be addressed, especially now that anyone can report anything just by having their phone? we have seen a lot of propaganda, especially in matters concerning courts.
Yeah.
People reporting what they think is their side of the story, when in fact it's not the story itself. How is that? Is that a problem first? And how can it be addressed?
It's really a problem.
Yes.
But you know, as you say, people are really misusing social media,
Yes.
and there's nothing we can do about it. All we can do is just try and write the story,
Yes.
and find a way to make people believe that not everything that people are posting is
Yes.
the real story.
Yes.
Yeah, because we can't stop them. Actually, that's a fact. Be it politicians, be it normal citizens, everyone can write or post whatever they want. Yeah.
And Akash,
Yeah.
the British government has stopped using the word fake news because of the way the president of the states, of the United States, defines what fake news is. Some say he calls anything he doesn't like fake news. So the British government, especially in Parliament, they have said we are not going to use the word fake news. We are going to use misinformation.
Yes.
Now, if I come back to my question, how can fake news be stopped on social media, and more so when it tries to corrupt stories that matters?
First of all, there's no way
Yes.
in this digital dispensation we
Yes.
can stop fake news. That's a fact. But there's a way we can remedy. How? And the first thing we should do is to differentiate social media, digital media, and blogging. What's blogging? Blogging is what columnists
You will do.
were in newspapers.
Yes.
They give structured opinion about something, detailed. And then we have social media. Social media is what people say, that's a pedestrian conversation.
Yes.
And then we have online media, that is mainstream media, the traditional media.
That went digital.
Yes.
Yes.
So if you want a detailed and structured conversation, you go to a blogger. If you want to know the truth, the news here, you go to digital media. That is the only way we can stop fake news or misinformation. But there's no other way we can stop, because in this country we have freedom to expression, to what do you call it? Freedom of expression.
Freedom of expression. Yes.
Everyone has the freedom to express their opinion, and that does not mean it can be taken as
Anything,
news.
yes. And,
Yes.
that, and also doesn't mean you say whatever you think
Yes.
you think you can say,
Yes.
even when it's not the fact.
Yeah.
Now, there is the issue of right now as you speak. Today, I think Parliament is discussing the gender bill.
Yeah.
Yes, the gender bill, which is very important. It's a bill introduced by the majority leader to give women more representation. I would like to know your take on that as a woman, and more so, what stops women from electing their own women, their fellow women? Why do we have to nominate women to Parliament?
Well, I find that as a good one, because as women have that mentality, should I say mentality, that they say women cannot rule them. You know, as they say, a woman's enemy is another woman.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's why I think till now they think that another woman will rule the country or a county very bad. That's why they choose to elect a male instead of a woman. But I see nowadays that is changing, as the world is also changing to digital. We find that don't be even surprised, tomorrow you might find a female president in Kenya. So the world is changing, yeah.
Okay, much as the world is changing,
Yeah.
is Northern Kenya changing? Is the Muslim region, other places changing? Are they ready to elect a woman? Are they electing women? Remember,
Yeah,
we
they
only
are.
have one woman who is elected as a member of Parliament. Leave alone the woman rep position, because that's an affirmative position.
Yeah.
Of course, a man will not go for it.
Yeah.
It's a woman's seat, and at the end of the day, it's a woman who will take. So we're not going to discuss the woman rep. Let's talk about elective seats that anyone can vie for.
Like the member
Member of Parliament for a constituency, or even an MCA, or a senator, or a governor. You and I know very well that you come from Northeastern, right?
Yes.
The entire region has only one female member of Parliament who is representing a constituency called Ijara constituency.
Yeah.
That's Honorable Sophia Abi.
Sophia,
And we know her story.
Yes.
She has come from far. She has struggled to be where she is. She's an activist in her own right. She has overcome so many things. Why do you think it's difficult, and more so in the region, for us to elect a woman? Much as we have issues at the national level, why more so in the pastoralist communities? Why are they finding it difficult to elect a woman?
Okay, as I told you, it's not difficult. It's just that it's something they have never tried.
So you think it's not a patriarchal issue? It's not a man thing?
It's not. No, it's actually nothing is for a man in this world. As they say, what a man can do, a woman can do. Okay, but that Northeastern, they still have that mentality. But as you said now that this Safia is the member of Parliament for Ijara, I believe very soon we also have Northeastern, I mean Garissa, Mandera and Wajir also. They're having a senator and a governor to be a woman. Still, they have not reached that stage. It's just that things are going, they're not supposed
What's
to be
stopping
rushed.
them from reaching that stage?
Okay, people have different opinions and
culture?
different perspectives. Yeah, culture, tribalism. Someone says, why should I? Maybe let's say it's two different tribes, maybe not my tribe, that want a seat for a government or a senator. There's no way I'll say, why am I wasting my time going for these two ladies and they're not from my tribe? So they still have that tribalism mentality. Yeah, that's all I can say.
We don't have a single MCA elected in the entire northern Kenya.
Yes.
We're in 2018. What do you make of that?
Because even in Ijara it was accidental.
Why do you say it was accidental?
No one knew it will happen. Even no one will bet that a woman will be elected. Yes, no one could bet that a woman will be elected in northern Kenya. Why? It's not religious. There's no religious reason there.
What do you mean religious?
No, I mean there's no religious reason why we should not elect women.
Okay.
It is cultural, particularly. And when we talk about Somali community, they're not patriarchal community. They are katikati, but women are not confident enough. It's only Safia who tried twice previously to vie. There's no any other woman. No, and in Wajir there was Fatuma Ibrahim, the previous woman rep, who is an Yala MP right now. She tried for the first time, but next election we hope she will get. People are not ripe for women leadership right now. 2-3 weeks ago,
on this same set, I hosted two women leaders in this. One is a senator, another one is also a leader, but not in the political setup, but at the national level in some commissions. And they have said that there's no, sidelining women in terms of leadership and other societal development is un-Islamic.
Yes.
There's no reason,
yes,
or there's no way in Islam where a woman should be sidelined.
There's no reason.
Yet, as people of Muslim faith, like many other parts of the country, even other parts of the country, they also have issues electing women.
Yes.
So you believe that we are going to overcome this?
Yes, because trends show that when you
we are going to have a woman governor very soon in northern Kenya?
And not the foreseeable future. Let's talk about 20 years from now.
Yes.
But if the trends show that when you empower a woman, now because men, they say, if a man want to give bribe, let's say to an officer, a government officer, and then he finds that there's a woman sitting behind the desk, most likely he will drop the idea, because women most likely are not
corruptible.
In most instances, because women think for others. They think for their husbands, their brothers, a lot of things. But men, we are interest driven. So at a personal level, I believe we should have more women in parliament.
Now, talking of youth issues, this country is tribal.
Yes.
That's a fact. When elections are called, people go and elect people on the basis of their clans and of all over the country.
Yes.
And immediately after the election, the youth of this country start complaining that, nothing is being done, and there's no two-third, the 30% tender. They don't. Yes, I mean, 2-3 days ago, there was a government report that says that the youth of this country don't get the 30% tenders percentage that they were given. They don't get. Where it goes, no one knows. But that's an official report from the government, from a governmental agency. But more was is the youth. They always complain, but yet they are tribal. You hardly see youth intermixing or doing things together. People look for one of their own. How can we overcome this tribal thing so that when the election comes, I don't care whether he's my tribe or not, as long as he can do whatever he's elected for, whether it's a presidency or a governor or whatever he is, that anyone can represent anyone. How do we go to that level?
Well,
and also in the pastor's community.
It is from one cycle to the next election cycle. In between, the youth are complaining. Why? Because when the next election cycle is coming up, youth now will be like, what do you call it? They will be the vehicle.
We always say the next election, and when the election comes, the thing change.
The thing change because they are the vehicles to board this, leader to the next.
Yeah, they are
election.
used as a stepping stone.
Yes.
So
and then when the next election comes, they are dropped.
Yes.
Do you know why? Because youth have not identified what they want out of these politicians.
So until they identify, they remain where they are.
They know what they want, but they don't want to insist. That's the problem.
Okay, Riyak, the KCP result just came out this week. And how do you see the girl child performance in the region and in northern Kenya?
Is it Northeastern or just
All over the country and the Muslim, specifically the Muslim areas, the girl child in marginalized communities. How was it? And did you guys report about it? And basically, how do you see the girl child education in northern Kenya?
Well, about the results, we had written an article about it.
Yes.
And the girl child education in northern Kenya nowadays is going on very well.
Yes.
And they're really performing.
Yes.
Yeah.
More girls are on the top 3,
Uh-huh.
and more girls because more girls are getting let's say boy child is not getting empowered, the girl child is getting empowered, and very soon we are going to see
The trend reversing.
yes,
Where we are going to now have activists talking about the boy child and all
Yes,
these things.
yes.
Now, what is your view of the Muslim leadership in this country?
The Muslim leadership in this country is failing the people, their followers. The other day, I read an article on the Star about religious leaders talking of, and what do you call this?
The
kofia.
Cup. Yeah, the cup.
The kofia.
Yes.
Is that even important? And having a kofia, is that even, it's just a religious symbol. It does nothing beyond that. We have a lot of present issues in this country. If it's about immigration, we need to talk about screening Muslims, particularly the Somalis, in a different way. Instead of talking of, how can you come to a press conference and talk about that really? We have a lot of present issues in this country. We have a lot of present issues. We have drugs problem in coastal areas. We have problem of marginalization in northern Kenya. We have problem with what you call the immigration department in this country. Those are the issues
Do you think that
come up.
story was covered fairly for it to be that way? You think it has been twisted?
Was it said or it was not said?
Yeah, that's the
If
question.
they talked about having a cup while they're
Maybe they
taking
said
photos.
anything and this guy decided to pick the cup
Well,
side.
where did they even include that?
Yes.
That was non-issue. To me, it was non-issue. I don't have to wear a cap to prove that I'm a Muslim.
Yes.
It means nothing. Yeah, there are a lot of present issues to talk about. At a personal level, I trust more Jamia Mosque Committee than Namlef and Subkem. I will say that. It's a personal opinion. Yes.
Of course, Jamia Mosque
and
is
even the
there.
government, even State House trust Jamia Mosque Committee.
Yeah.
Because when Masjid Musa was shut down, it was Jamia Mosque Committee that was tasked to...
Because you see, Jamia Mosque is
open.
a relevant institution. It is the mosque. It is the biggest mosque in the
Yes.
country. It is the face of Muslim in this
Yeah.
country. As much as we have many other organizations, whatever name they call themselves,
Yes.
Jamia Mosque remains the most important institution we have as a country.
And I've never seen
yes.
Jamia Mosque in State House.
Yeah, in
during
State House
elections.
we need to get that. And of course, we are also here because of Jamia Mosque. And this
Yes.
is the voice of the Muslims.
Yes.
And this station is because of Jamia Mosque.
Yes.
To give the Muslim the voice they need to be heard out there.
So if there is
Yes.
any sheikh listening right now,
Yes.
I want to tell them there's a lot of pressing issues to talk about.
And not the caps.
Caps are,
Okay.
that's useless.
And let me come to Riyadh. And how has devolution empowered the woman in this country?
Muslim women or women in
Woman
general.
and general, you can be specific if you want to be, but generally the woman in this country. Has devolution been helpful anyway to the women of this country?
Yeah, nowadays it has really been helpful, and you might find that nowadays, be it elections, be it in journalism, actually we do not have many Muslims. Like we see a lot of Muslim ladies nowadays, they have come up, they have that confidence, yeah. That it has really helped them, I can say. They can now be able to stand for themselves.
Great. Now, Okash, give us your parting shot. We are winding up.
Yeah.
We have discussed many things. We have discussed digital journalism. We have discussed governance. We have discussed youth issues, misuse of social media.
Yes.
I want us to wind up.
Yes.
My director is saying, we're out of town.
Yes.
I want us to wind up. And what is your parting shot?
My parting shot is, and three things have to be differentiated. One, social media is pedestrian talk. Blogging is columnists were doing it. They still do it in newspapers.
Yes.
And digital media is mainstream, professional mainstream media.
That went online.
Yes. The other thing is, we just talked about it, and I'm very angry about that, because that day Muslims were mocked in this country, because if your leadership is talking of the least important thing, and then we have a lot of pressing issues in this country. because a lot of coastal counties, Lamu, Lamu, Mombasa, and Malindi, Garissa, Wajir, Mandera, we have a lot of teen pregnancy. That's one thing we should talk about.
Good.
Yeah.
So yeah, what's your parting shot? And I think you can start from the the pregnancy issue. What's your parting shot on everything we have discussed?
Well, actually, teen pregnancy is on the rise nowadays. Nowadays, it used to be on high school, university, and also high school girls, but nowadays it has also come to primary kids.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, actually unfortunate. What I can say, I think the reason is because mostly it has come from non-Christians, non-Muslims, and it's because of lack of school fees. You might find they go around having sexual relationship with other men so that they can be able to pay their school fees. So what I would urge the government is to try and look at the lives of those kids and try to help them so that they can be able to get their education so that can be avoided.
Great. We had a very interesting conversation about citizen journalism, digital media, social media, and all that. Until then, next Friday, as usual, same place, same host, same set. We're going to repeat, of course, a different topic. I'm your host, Ahmed Qadar, and this is the Weekly Matters. Till then, keep it here.
Horizon TV, kurunzi ya taifa. Horizon TV.